our primary business is still traditional linear television. It drives about 95% of our viewing and 90% of our revenue for the TV group. And we are focused, though, on this transition that many viewers are having to connected TVs, away from necessarily the traditional ways they might have consumed TV, to consuming it on digital platforms, whether they're streaming platforms or whether they're connected TVs or whether they're mobile. We address that by making all of our news assets and then other original programming available on streaming platforms where viewers can access it through their phones or through their connected TV or through their iPads. And what we're finding is there's a very large tens of millions of people a month on our platform that consume our streaming video of the same assets that we display on our linear platform. Our linear TV platform are also available on digital. So we have tens of millions of video starts per month of news stories, linear news. We can't use traditional linear TV anymore because now streaming is also linear. When streaming first started, it tended to be a video on demand focus, but then a few years ago, streaming became more linear. So you have traditional linear TV and streaming linear TV, and then you have AVOD and SVOD, of course, which is advertising supported VOD and subscription VOD, which we're not active in SVOD at the moment. We certainly are looking at opportunities in that space. But the goal is to follow our viewers and be available to our viewers however they want to consume our product. And in general, as a TV station in a market, you have the rights to stream pretty much everything you buy, as long as it's streamed in your original broadcast, meaning all programming you buy, you can stream live. And then where you get into rights conflicts is in how you're allowed to use the content when it's not a part of the primary stream. And there are just ways to develop those rights, and that space is growing in terms of the demands of broadcasters, programmers and networks, and also what programmers and networks want to do with their own content. So it's a constant negotiation for rights. But the bottom line is we want to be available where our viewers want us available with the content that they want and how they want it. So we are seeing some interesting things in streaming research that some viewers who view both the traditional television channel and also our radio stations, who listen to our traditional radio stations the way they've always been delivered, also listen on streaming assets or view on streaming assets. Then there's a certain amount of people who don't view the traditional linear feed, and they only, it would appear from research that there's a significant segment of the audience that views only on digital platforms. And so that's why it's important that you're there. And we also see that having a robust, easy access available to people on their phones, on their iPads, on their computers, and on their connected TVs is an important place for all broadcasters to be. Traditional television is not where what you would call converged or connected TV and OTT. They're not in the same place because of digital ad insertion. And currently, traditional linear TV does not have digital ad insertion. So our traffic management system, which is wide orbit in our case, and that is the predominant system that everybody uses, they have been working on getting us to a position where we can have at minimum what I would call automated buying. The biggest challenge for both wide orbit and broadcasters is to agree on an automated gateway, and that it requires quite an investment. And as of yet, broadcasters haven't come together to create that, either with wide orbit or anybody else. And that is going to be an important next step that I think you will see playing out over the next 3 years or so. It is really critical that broadcasters make our inventory available so that agencies can buy it on an automated platform, and something that looks like a self-serve platform. I know that Wide Orbit, has made steps in that direction, and we're all pretty excited about that. And I think it's time for broadcasters to lean in and figure out how to solve the supply side of that. There are companies trying to solve the demand side, like Hudson MX and others. But in the world of traditional linear TV, that's non-streaming, it is a little further away than our OTT/connected TV streams. If it were that easy, we would already, we'd be able to sell both programmatically and semi-programmatically. A lot of broadcasters sort of fear the term programmatic, so we use the word automated. At the end of the day, programmatic is often blamed for the race to the bottom in digital pricing. I personally don't believe that programmatic represents that. I think that programmatic is whatever you make it. And the biggest thing we need to have right now is an automated platform, and later evolve into being able to make some of our inventory available programmatically.